I'll call the October 27th meeting of the Old Colony Planning Council to order. First item is the accessibility statement and Title VI non-discrimination statement. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. Large print material are available upon request. If you would like either of these accommodations, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833, extension 202. The notice of non-discrimination rights and protections to beneficiaries with regard to the federal Title VI non-discrimination protections and the state non-discrimination protections is posted in the meeting room and is available on the Old Colony Planning Council website. Please contact Mary Waldron, 508-583-1833, extension 202 for more information. All right, Mary, did you want to do the roll call vote?
I do. Stephen Santusonio.
Present.
Frank Staffier.
Present.
John Costa. Sandra Wright may be late, but we'll get back. Sydney Merrill might be late. Preston Huckabee.
Present.
Peter Bagone is not able to, no power. Jean Marie Kent Joyce.
Here.
Thank you.
Present.
Thank you. Joe Hanson, Joe Campbell, Valerie Massard, Becky, Lee Hartman, he has no power. Christine Joy.
Present.
Doug Silvestri. Thank you. Fred Gilmetti and Dan Salvucci. That is the roll call.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we conduct a meeting of the executive committee. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second, Frank. Can we do another quick roll call vote, Mary?
Yes, we can. Let me just get to that. Sorry. Let me do this by visual here. Christine Joy.
Yes.
Stephen Santusonio.
Present, yes.
Frank Staffier.
Present.
Doug Silvestri.
Accept.
Jean Marie Kent Joyce.
President, yes.
Preston Huckabee.
Yes.
And I think my apologies. I want to make sure I have everybody. Stephen Santusonio I already had.
Yeah.
And that is everybody. That is a
Right.
affirmative.
Okay. All right. Very good. So we can still conduct our business here. The first item that we've got next is the minutes of September 29th.
Actually,
Did everyone get a
Madam
chance?
President, if I
Yep.
could, my apologies, the consent agenda, since the minutes were sent out along with the environmental review, if there would be a motion to accept the consent agenda, and that way we can move right into the next agenda.
So moved, Mrs. Executive.
Okay, so Frank
Second.
made a motion to approve and Jean Marie seconded. Can we do a roll
Yes.
call vote for accept of the consent agenda, which is the minutes of September 29th?
Yes, Stephen Santusonio,
Accept.
Frank Staffier,
Accept.
Christine Joy,
Accept.
Jean Marie Joyce,
Accept.
Preston Huckabee,
Accept.
and I think that's it. Great, thank you.
Mary, are you doing the financials or is Brenda on too?
No, Brenda's not on, and you get me.
Yay.
Okay. Let me share those for everybody. And let me get my notes. And September financials, so I can share them for those that can see, and I apologize for those that cannot, but they were sent out in advance. So I am going to, the statement of expenditures shows the total expenses for the month is $206,447.41. That's right here, and that is the statement of expenditures. Onto the cash position report, shows income for the month of September of $61,488.73. The disbursements for the month were $97,114.84. The total cash available for the month end was $1,137,880.35. The OPEB account had a loss of $18,275.26. bringing the ending balance in the OPEB account to $886,104.37. On to the budget resources. Total receipts for the month is $61,488.73, bringing the total cumulative receipts in FY22 to $352,371.59. It's not easy doing what Brenda does. That's all I can tell you. So that is the budget resource report. The AAA report is pass-through cumulative, bringing the total recorded was $1,487,036. The remaining fund balances showing at this time $1,412 and $1,412,903. The ombudsman and administrative funds cumulative billing recorded 262. I'm going to try to. There we go. 262,888. Bringing the remaining balance reported in admin and ombudsman to 251,475. Voluntary transportation account fund beginning balance in September was $184,363.16. Total payments to volunteers, right there, was $939.77. No donations were received in September. Fund ending balance is $183,423.39. On to the, oops, sorry here. I think we missed a part about, but I can do this one on the ROM account. As you can see, the total monthly income is for the month of September was 12,000. Sorry, the rent was 5,850. Miscellaneous receipts was 6,742 for total monthly income of 12,592. For the cumulative for the year is 24,292. For the monthly expenses for the month of September was 6,283.53 cents for total cumulative expenses of 26,972. Just going on to the operating budget, I'm just going to go to the bottom line. Again, the finance committee met yesterday and went over these, but we're at 21.58% of our spending ratio. If we are going to do a comparison, we should be somewhere around 25%. So we're pretty much right on there. And as Brenda had talked about, there was a couple of line items that had some adjustments just because where we are in terms of our budget. So the equipment supplies increased from 1,000 to 2,200. Mostly a lot of that has been related to the technology pieces that we need to make sure that we're protecting our emails and the different spams that we're getting. The fringe benefits decreased from 195,000 to 185,000. The loan interest expense increased because the loan interest rate we had renewed and that interest rate went up. Printing increased we went from 6,000 to 9,000. Postage increased from 2,000 to 5,000, just to bringing it in line. Brenda's been keeping an eye on that bottom line and wanted to make some adjustments. And some of the miscellaneous had increased up from 90 to, I've got to make sure, where is this miscellaneous? Because I make sure I do this. So we increased the miscellaneous from 96 to 208. So that is the financial report.
Any questions for Mary on the financial report? All right, how about a motion to approve the financial report from September 2021?
So moved. Seconded.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Can we do roll call vote, Mary?
Yes, please. I'm going to just promote Sandra to panelist. So on the
Christine,
motion.
can I just ask who made the motion and who seconded? I didn't recognize the voices.
Preston Huckabee
The
made the
second-
motion.
And Frank was the
Stafford
second.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Preston.
And thank you, Preston, and thank you, Dottie, for catching that for record keeping. For Avon, Frank Staffier.
Mary, I'm here now if you want me to.
Thank you, Sandy. I'll continue at this point. I mean, only
Okay.
just I'll finish this and when we can go from there. That was a yes from Frank. Stephen Santasonia,
Accept.
Jean Marie Joyce,
Accept.
Christine Joy,
Accept.
Doug Silvestri. And only because the members are there, Preston Huckabee
Accept.
and Sandra Wright.
Accept.
And I think that is it. Okay.
Great.
So-
Thanks, Mary. And now we're on to you again. With staff
So
report.
I submitted, I'm just going to leave it for, I sent it in advance, the staff report. Usually I kind of go over it at this meeting. There's just been so many different things. So he was here at the last meeting, but I want to formally announce that Sean Knoll has joined us. This is already 2 weeks that Sean has been on board. An incredible asset. It allowed, by Sean coming on board, it also allowed Brenda to go on vacation without having to be disturbed, and was able to be just fit right in. So please join me in welcoming Sean to the team.
Welcome, Sean.
Welcome, Sean.
And
Thank you, everybody.
Sean, and for those, I mean, again, the incredible work, I keep going through it. AAA, actually Sean is in, picture is in there, the AAA team and the ombudsman, as well as the assisted living there. They've been going to all the different, they're visiting the facilities, and they're making some great inroads in terms of connecting. So kudos to them. And then the transportation team, the road safety audit and others have been really it's incredible. We've been meeting with the different towns. If you have not been part of it or have not seen any of those, but we've been meeting with each of the communities. We're about halfway through the 17 communities. It's been engaging and welcoming, and we plan to, the first visit is with us. So we've been hosting lunch here. And then the second visit will be going to the communities, and we will make sure that we keep all the delegates and alternates informed when we are in fact going, so you can hear about the information. I know, Sandy, I was able to share with you some draft notes from the meeting that we
Yes.
had with Bridgewater. You know, for the communities to know about the grants and information that Dottie's been coordinating and informing, transportation, with Charlie and his team is doing, for the planning and hazard mitigation. So please, if you haven't had the chance to read the staff report, I highly recommend, and I can send it separately to you if you'd like, if you didn't get it in your package, but I'd be more than happy to share that great news with you. That's all I have.
Great. Thanks, Mary. Okay, regional, thank you, everyone, the staff. You guys do an amazing job every month. It's, wonderful things. And I've been reading through it, and it's on page 6 of the packet. So if anybody wanted to catch up on all the great work you're doing, just look at page 6 and more to come. Mary, on to regional clearinghouse reviews. You can do those, or Charlie?
So actually, because those were part of the package when we sent that out as part of the consent agenda that was approved by the council members.
They weren't listed on the consent agenda, just the minutes were.
Oh dear. Okay, so I can quickly go through them.
Okay.
They are in the agenda. So the Swanberg property Wellfit in Pembroke, they're proposing to install a new groundwater production. So if all of these are given to each of the communities, and I think Lee had explained it once before, but for some of the new members, we just review these, and if you'd like us to weigh in, we will weigh in with either a comment letter or an email. The second is the former National Fireworks site. We have taken this one up before, the Hanover and Hanson. The certificate state that the project requires the submission of an environmental impact report, and a separate draft record of decision. There's a proposal to grant a waiver. So that We've been in touch with both Hanover and Hanson. And the notice of intent to initiate an aquatic plant management program in Brockton. And that is new to the list. We have not seen that before. So but I can say at the location of irrigation pond in Brockton, a mechanical hydro rake will be used to establish safe usage of water body and to protect the interest of the Wetlands Protection Act by impeding, I'm not even going to pronounce this, eutropher and improving habitat value. The notice of intent is for Thorny Leaf Golf Club and Woods Pond. So
Great. Thanks,
so
Mary.
you're welcome. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, so if any of the communities in attendance wanted OCPC to weigh in on any of these projects, just reach out to Mary or Charlie and let them know. Okay, Mary, on to number 7, OPEB assessment. Bob Moran.
Yes, so Bob Moran is unable to attend tonight. Obviously the storm, and he's started yesterday and continue. But just an update is that he met with the county treasurer and his team. He's also just this Monday met with Rockland Trust. He is preparing a report that will provide an assessment, an analysis, kind of comparing apples to apples and oranges. And then that will be submitted to the Finance Committee for their review, and the council members will be invited to that. And then it will be before the full council for their review. He is not going to be making a recommendation. It will be an analysis. And he's kind of in the first time he was digging in, because it's easy to get involved with the OPEB, but there's a couple things that we do need to eventually have, and it's on the agenda for the next finance meeting, is in fact to create a trust. And we do not have that in place yet, but we were given some verbiage that Pat Chiamella and Rockland Trust started on. And then it's more, and just as important is to develop on a policy about financials, not just how risky do we want to be, about what's the mindset of a council, and have some fruitful discussion. So those are 2 items that have come from this, in addition to the recommendation that Bob will present. Timeline. So just a little bit, if I could, because so we're sitting in October. Usually the Thanksgiving week is when we would have a council meeting. That tends to be moved to the first week of December. But nothing could prevent us from having a finance meeting when Bob is ready. And I would anticipate, he was hoping to be ready by this week. He's a little bit delayed. So over the next couple of weeks, probably have a finance meeting to just specifically talk about the OPEB.
That sounds great, Mary. Okay, next item, election of one community with population greater than 15.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Christine, sorry, I did something. My apologies. I hit the wrong button on my computer.
No worries. No problem.
It's just one of those
Okay.
days.
It is one of those days. If that's the worst that happens, Mary, that is nothing. All right. So election of one community with population greater than 15,000 to serve as a signatory member on the Old Colony Metropolitan Planning Organization, the MPO. Does OCPC have a recommendation for a community, or do we have several communities that are interested?
So we had 2 nominations. Charlie, are you on now? I think his connection's a little bit bad.
Yeah.
So let me see if we can get you. Yeah, he just muted again. So again, he has no power. So I think I can take it, because I had a conversation with Charlie about this. There were 2 names that were nominated, that were provided. And let me pull up the screen. Pardon me for 1 minute here. MPO signature. Okay, let me do this. Share screen. And Charlie, if you are able to speak, just come right in and tell me. So so ideally, there was a couple options that we had here. And so there were two nominations, Dan Salvucci, which you can see right here for the town of Whitman. And Dan had been representing, so that's one. And then the other, if I just did this wrong. The other is from the town of Stoughton, and it's Lou Giotto. So I do want to be able to pull that up if my computer is going to allow me. Doesn't look like it's allowing. This is when Comcast is failing us now. The other is, I can pull it up. I had it up there and I just closed it. So there are two nominations. There was two choices. It could be voted on today. For the executive committee can act again as you can on behalf of the council or those members that are here, and or we can postpone it to the next November meeting or next meeting whenever the council meets. So those are your two choices. And if Charlie, if you're
I'd like to make a motion to postpone this to the next full council meeting. Is there any discussion? Anybody have a different idea? You'd rather take this up now?
And actually, Madam President, I just remembered what Charlie was saying, that if the council can take action to allow for the existing member to continue on until the council meets again to take up the nomination, I think that allows that signature to continue for the 1 month period until the vote happens in at the next meeting.
Okay, all right, so I'll modify my motion, and luckily nobody seconded. So I'll make a motion that Dan Salvucci continue to serve as a signatory member on the Old Colony Metropolitan Planning Organization until the next full council meeting, where we can take a vote on who will serve as the representative going forward.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Can we do a roll call vote?
And Sandy,
Sure.
did you want to
Yep.
do that?
Sure, I'll do that. Abington,
Accept.
Avon,
Accept.
Bridgewater, accept. Brockton,
Accept.
Duxbury is vacant. East Bridgewater,
Not here.
okay. Easton,
Accept.
Halifax is not here. Hanover is not here. Hanson,
Not here.
okay. Kingston,
Not here.
Pembroke,
Not here.
okay. Plymouth,
Not here.
Plimpton,
Accept.
Stoughton,
That was Doug.
and that was a yes. West Bridgewater
Not here.
and Whitman.
Not here.
Anyone from Whitman?
Okay, great. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll hold that to our next full meeting. Mary, did you want to speak on the status of the retirement legislation?
I do. At one point this month, I had some really good news. The fact that the legislation that the regional planning agencies were supporting was ready to be moved out of committee. And then the Massachusetts State Retirement Board Treasurer's Office weighed in, and they kind of put a halt to that. And then a communication came from the State Retirement Board to myself and a number of regional planning agencies to wanting to talk. So then there was a quick meeting of the regional planning agencies and saying that nobody should have separate conversations. We should be all on the same page. And so we're back to square one. So basically, not the legislation, the corrective legislation that would be to our advantage, that did not get out of committee, nor did the legislation that the state treasurer. So I did receive a phone call also from Nick Favorito from the retirement board, and wanting to talk, and I had not called him back. I do think he needs a phone call back, but I'm going to say the regional planning agencies need to talk and be on the same page. So that is the status of the retirement legislation, and it will remain on our agenda until we get some resolution one way or the other.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you for staying on top of this. Okay, next item on the agenda is officers of OCPC, and this is just kind of a general putting it out there, to reminding everyone that my term is up this spring, and that if there is someone who would be interested in serving as president, we're going to be looking for someone. If so, if you have questions about the role, feel free to contact me or Mary, and we'll hopefully have some people that would be interested in taking over relatively soon. Maybe let us know so that we can help kind of get you ready. Anything to add, Mary?
No, I think that what happens, right? So everybody who's on this call or in the office are busy people with busy lives. My goal has been to try to make that role as of president not to be so invasive on your regular lives and your work lives. This year, the last couple years, as you know, with Christine's leadership, but also with Stephen and Lee and others, the bylaws have been changed to tighten things up, and a number of things, and including the employee handbook. So it continuity is really important. I really think that getting somebody to have that transition with Christine to really kind of take that on. But I would honestly say that what Christine has done is really have been very supportive. I stay in communication and pick a day that really is convenient, that is not infringing upon personal lives or work life. So it would be great to have somebody to step into that position.
Great, thanks, Mary. Mary's made it very easy, Mary, Charlie, and all of the staff. It's not a heavy lift. So if it's something that you think may be of interest, please let Mary or I know. All right, so next item, suggestions for future agenda items. Anybody have any suggestions for a agenda item on a future meeting? Okay, hearing none. Well, we will be discussing
Frank,
financial
hold on.
policy.
Sorry, Christine.
You guys can't hear us.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Oh, beautiful. Go ahead, Frank. What do you have?
That owl is in and out.
Hold on, John. John, hold on.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. So what John Costa was asking about was the reservoir, if there was resolution on the Reservoir Street. There is not a resolution.
She's gonna check with the mayor.
That, I don't think that has happened. That was Sydney Merrill, the chief of staff. What I will do is send an email and include Preston on it, as well as the delegate alternate from Brockton, and we'll, in fact, I believe that Mass Works, there's been award for Avon for reservoir pedestrian and bicycle. So there's some money for early beginnings of that, but we'll follow up.
Okay.
Everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know what I did.
All right. Any other items to talk
Frank's
about
happy.
on a future agenda?
Frank?
We can't hear him.
Yeah, so
No.
this is his point. This owl thing that we paid a lot of money for, I have, every so often, it seems like it sound doesn't pick Frank up, and it should. The fact that John is sitting right next to it, it's relatively new to us. but I've held meetings like in the bigger room and it's picked up voices. So Frank's comment is a very well taken one. We thought this system worked. We may have to go back to the phone system to have people, because you can hear the star phone in the middle of the room. That was much clearer. So and the fact that I'm sitting right next to it, so the point is that this thing that we have in here that's supposed to be helpful isn't really being helpful.
Okay, yeah, point taken. It's definitely not. So, yeah, whatever you want to come up with or try as a better solution so that we can pick people up in that room would be fantastic, Mary.
Yep, we'll work on that. Thank you.
Okay, so what we've got for future agenda items are that Mary was going to follow up with Sydney on Reservoir Street. Are going to be talking about a financial policy at some point, and then Bob will be doing the OPEB presentation. So those are some upcoming agenda items.
That is correct.
So if we've got no other items, which it appears that we don't, that we've gotten through this. Go ahead.
Madam President, before we go, I just want, there is a to be determined at the end of the agenda about the next meeting. Sure. It sort of is an alternative, but we're going to, instead of having a meeting, we're going to do an expo, and we're looking at places, and we found a place in Hanson that's centrally located, that it will be an in-person where we have staff and council members meet, because it's been a while and there's some new members. And then we're going to invite members of your communities to come and know more about OCPC. So we're calling it an expo. There will be a little portion of a, get to know. It'll be just us, about a half hour, 45 minutes. And then we're going to open it up to, again, to do a little bit of some show and tell about all the GIS stuff that we're doing and traffic reports, et cetera. So the dates that we are looking for, I've vetted this a little bit by the finance committee yesterday. So December, it's only gonna be one day. So December 1st or December 2nd or December 8th or December 9th. Finance meeting, I had everybody, could make those meetings, but Sandy could not make the 8th, if I'm correct.
No, I couldn't make the 9th.
Okay.
The 1st or the 8th is good for me, either one of those Wednesday nights.
So what I'll do is, for the crew that's in here, I will ask them before they go to check those dates out. And Jean Marie, I don't know if I could just steal this minute, because it takes me a little bit to get to everybody. I don't know if any of those dates do or do not work for you.
As some of you know, I'm starting a new job on Monday, so I'm not really sure.
Okay, 5:40. So the meeting's going to be at 5:45. So it's going to be at nighttime, and we'll have food. It will be a cash bar, kind of like an annual meeting like we've done, but it's going to be, it really is just, it's the part of how we function. And I think it could be really helpful to then ask Christine, what's the role of president and things of that nature. So 5:45 is when it would start. So
Okay, either one of those will be fine then.
perfect. Thank you. And I apologize because I know everybody wants to go. We're on such a good roll for leaving. I'll check with those that are here. So Madam President, I'm done.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mary. And that's going to be a really neat event, and I think it'll be really well received. So great idea on that. And we probably will have a finance meeting in November, which Mary will send out the details on that. And those are open to anyone who would like to attend. So we'll be meeting with Bob in November, most likely, hopefully, fingers crossed, to get his report on the OPEB assessment. So that is all the business that we've got tonight. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
Doug? You make a
Second.
motion?
Okay, so that was a motion from Doug. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, okay, that was Jean Marie. All right, so motion a second. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Good night, everyone. Have
Good
Good night. Thank
a
you,
safe
Christine.
evening, and yeah, we'll hopefully see everyone soon. Maybe before Thanksgiving.
Good night, everyone.